Not even death can save you from me.
I'm not ready yet.
Oh wow, dude, we wrecked them. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the video. I'm going to be showing you my build. I call it the Night King, well in my case Night Queen. I summon Necromancer. Start off with the helm. Every 10 seconds your cold skeletal mages cast a blizzard that deals 1105 damage of cold and continuously chills enemies for 8% over 6 seconds. This is nice because when they cast, as you'll see, there's just big rings of just blizzards coming down. It's real nice, chilling everybody, and it synergizes well with our other items. In our chest slot, we're using max number of skeletal warriors, increased by 2. Because we're using reapers. In our glove spot, we have our first unique corpse explosion. Summons a volatile skeleton that charges a random enemy, explodes. Corpse explosion is increased by 40%. We got a high roll here, and this is nice for PvP and really nice for world boss, especially one that moves around, because you just keep sending minions at them. In our pan slot, we're using damaging an elite enemy grants barrier, absorbing 1942 damage up for 10 seconds. This can only happen every 30 seconds. This is crucial for PvP, and it's really nice for keeping alive in PvM. In our boot slot, our second unique, Pennant Greaves, and you leave behind a trail of frost that chills enemies, and that's not why we're using them. We're actually using them because you deal 7% more damage to chilled enemies. Now this is the low roll. Obviously you want the 10%. I think best in slot for right now because one, we're using cold damage, and you can't really get any amplifiers on the boots other than what this is. Next unique, we're using Blood Scream. This, I've been finding so many better items, like damage wise, but this just synergizes so well with the build. Your darkness skills chills enemies up 40%. And our rings and jewelry slots, we have each time one of your summoning minions damage an enemy, they gain 12% attack speed for 3 seconds up to 36%. Wish it was better rolls, but that's what we got so far. Your skeletons gain increased damage while alive up to 29% for up to 10 seconds. This boosts your skeletons and mages damage. But your maximum number of skeleton mages is increased by 3. I do this because a lot of our damage is coming from our skeletal mages. Obviously with one more blizzard and just one more skeleton mage cast, and I think they do about 3k per damage. All right, going over to skills quick. We're going skeleton reapers. The reapers that have a 15% chance to carve flesh off enemies forming a corpse. That'll help because we're using corpse explosion, so more corpses better. Going to skeletal mages now. Enemies who are frozen by or damaged by while frozen by your cold mages primary attacks are made vulnerable for 4 seconds. So you're just making things vulnerable just by attacking with your mages. Very helpful. And then coming back to golem, each time your bone golem takes 20% of its max life as damage, it sheds its life as corpse. Going over our skill tree, we have decompose. Absolutely don't use it. Right here, we don't use any of our core skills. I maxed out huge flesh to get more corpses to spawn. I have 1 point in blood mist because having immunity for 3 seconds is very helpful, especially during the boss fight to get into World Tier 4. Corpse explosion, I have this maxed out to 5, and then I'm using the blighted corpse explosion, which turns your corpse explosion to darkness, and because of our two-handed weapon, our darkness skills become cold. It's amplifying our damage overall. Also in this category, we're going to be maxing Skeletal Warrior because we're using our Skeletal Warriors. Grim Harvest, consuming a corpse generates 6 essence. Amazing. You just never run out of essence. You deal 9% increased damage for 6 seconds after consuming a corpse. You're constantly consuming corpses, so that's always proc. Death's Embrace. I like this over Death's Reach because you're getting 9% less damage done to you. Amplify damage because we're using Decrepify, and we're using the Decrepify skill that reduces your cooldowns. This is really helpful because you're just constantly doing damage. You'll see in the footage my cooldowns are just flying down. Skeletal Mage Mastery, this is a must. Max this out as fast as possible. Corpse Tendrils, we're using the Corpse Tendrils that make enemies vulnerable for 3 seconds. Constantly wanted to have enemies vulnerable. Necrotic Card Space, you're gonna max this out. Your minions and your skills fortify you every time you form a corpse. You come back to our Reapers and our Golem always have corpse spawning. Coming down here, we're gonna max out Golem Mastery and our summoning skills. These are just a must later in the difficulties. They're just all very useful. And here I'm using the Shadow Blight passive for the 10% bonus damage when enemies have Shadow Blight. You'll see the map is covered with shadow damage, so they're constantly getting Shadow Blight on them. Going to our glyphs now. I'm only using one. I'm using the Skeletal Mage. For every 5 intelligence purchased within the Skeletal Mage, within range of the Skeletal Mage, deal 5.8% increased damage. I've been upgrading this. I think it's currently level 6. And And also I have the increased resistance for skeletal mages as well, because they're very squishy early on. If we come up here, I started out, I went left and got the armored clad because I wanted to keep my minions alive, and then immediately came up here and got called leader. After that, I came over and got infused warrior, just to boost our skeletal warriors. Then came up here and I got puppeteer, and I filled out all these nodes for the minion damage just to help our skeletal mages out. I hope you enjoyed this summoner. If you did, give me a like, comment, let me know how you're liking Diablo 4 so far. I'm enjoying the game. I'm only level 65 and I'm crushing the game right now, as you can see in the footage.